Love isn't merely a four-letter word or an action verb. It's the journey that begins with you. I'm Kenya Nicole, and I'm here to share self-love, self-worth, and being self-aware. It's your girl Kenya here with another episode of For the Love of Kenya, where we cover everything life, lessons, and blessings. Child, it's dookie in the dating pool. Y'all know what? It is extremely wild out here for both single men and single women, okay? I just had a very, what I would consider, toxic conversation with someone who's extremely upset because we had one date and I chose that I was not interested in the person. Isn't that what dating is about? To have the experience to see if you're interested or if you're uninterested. I'm so confused by this person's reaction and calling me, he name called me, you guys. I mean, a ugly name at that. So, sir, and this dude had the audacity. He had the audacity to question why I don't want to go out with him. He literally grabbed my hands on our first date and prayed, which is not a bad thing, but to me it came off like, and then he told me that he studied me. Okay, so when he said, I pay attention to what a guy say and what he do, not just what he say, because a pair of lips can say anything, but he said that he studied me. So in my mind, I'm like, you studied me? Oh, so you've been going through my posts, going through my captions, my pictures, things that I say, and you want to dialogue with me based on the dialect you've collected from my social media. So that was already like a red flag. I paid attention to his communication with me, his conversation. He would depict himself as the man that I described in one of my posts. So I'm not going to say anything, but I'm very observant. And I'm going to tell you guys something. The reason that I have been single for as long as I've been single, I'm a very discerning woman. I'm a very intuitive woman, and I see through a lot of bullshit. And so when there are men who are not prepared to evolve and they aren't ready to give up the bullshit to be great, we would never work, because I'm going to see the bullshit. I'm going to call the bullshit out, and I'm going to not challenge you. I operate in the femininity of how God designed me. So as a woman, women have wombs, and the womb that we have is to carry and give birth. We are not just designed this way so that we can have your babies, okay? We're also designed this way so that we can help you birth out the greater you of who you are as a man. And so when you're not ready to become who all, they say be all you can be in the army. When you're not ready to be all God has called you to be, there are just certain women who are divine that you should not even go after. And that's just me being honest, okay? Back to this guy. So he holds my hand in his prayer. And in this prayer, at the end of the prayer, he prays and says, no games, no lies, no deceit. And may she be my wife. No games, no lies, no deceit. May I be his wife. Mind you, prior that day of our date, he tells me that he has an appointment. And so I'm like, you have an appointment? He says, yeah, I have a consultation for my teeth. And so I'm like, oh, okay. He said, I have a consultation to go see the dentist. That's what he said. I have a consultation to go see the dentist. And so I said, oh, okay. So what time is our date? So we set the time for our date. All right. So finally, we're at this date where he holds my hand, says this prayer, and he looks up to me, looks me in my face, opens his mouth, and he has like 6 teeth in his mouth, y'all. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've made it home, and this conversation needs to continue. Well, I'm home, y'all. Okay. So I go through with the date. We have a decent date. I'm noticing some things that just don't sit well with me. But I continue the date. And after the date, the next day, I give him a call. And I ask him this question because it was already shown to me. And I'm like, I want to see if he's going to be honest. Because you're saying no games, no lies, no deceit. So now you need to live up to what you prayed, sir. Come out and ask him. Now, this is me being transparent about myself. I tell him, I said, I have a question. I said, because I understand what you're going through. This is me kind of trying to ease into it without being offensive. And I said, I have a partial that I wear. But I'm working on getting the implant. I said, your consultation, was it about you to get your implants? Because like this man is like missing literally like all his teeth at the end of the day. And he's like, yeah. I said, so what happened? Diabetes. And I'm like, I never heard of anybody losing their teeth behind diabetes. If that can happen, y'all let me know. Because now we're having a conversation and I'm listening at what he has to say. Take the seatbelt off. And so I asked him, I said, can I ask you another question? I said, the day that we had our date, that day you were ready to meet me. I said, you told me that you had a dentist appointment. And your appointment was for 3 o'clock. And then after your appointment, we would have our date. Then you called me back because I cleared out my Friday for this date. You called me back and you're like, well, we can start our date earlier. And I make an agreement. I meet up with you. And then I recognize, like, you don't have all your teeth. I go on to say, were you preparing me so that I wouldn't be taken back once we finally met in person? Mind you, what did I say at the beginning of this video? That I am a discerning woman. That I am a very intuitive woman. And my gift, it frightens some people. It does. However, I am who I am and I'm not apologizing for it. I thank God for the gift. I do. This gift has blessed me. The more I have learned to tap into it, the better blessed I have been. For real. And so I'm waiting for him to live up to the prayer that he prayed when he grabbed my hand. This soft-spoken gentleman goes on to say, why the fuck would I have to pretend for you? Well, why would you? It's the same question I'm asking you, sir. I want to know the answer to that as well. But now your gentle side has gone out of the window because I'm asking you to be honest about something that you are being ashamed to be honest about. Like, I'm a person that I have no shame. I am not ashamed of no parts of myself. And I don't expect everybody to be like that. But if you're going to be tapping into heaven and asking God for certain stuff, Don't play with Jesus on my clock. Don't play with him on my watch. He already showed me that that's what you did. I understand. We all have our insecurities. I have my own insecurities that I deal with every day. I'm not trying to connect with some man that has insecurities and won't even own up to his insecurities. My heart would have been so much more. I mean, there are implants. There are all kinds of stuff that fix things that are like that. That's a simple fix. But the fact that you felt that you needed to do that, to be deceptive to me, to try to woo me over, and when I call you out on it, not really that I called him out on it. I didn't even call him out on it. I wanted him to be like, yeah, I didn't know if you were going to be accepting of me. I didn't know. This has been a challenge of mine. This is a thing I've been working on. And, it's not something I feel comfortable enough to tell a person before they meet me. I would have had way more compassion. But instead, you know what he did? He tried to project his insecurities on me. It's a great thing that I'm in a healed space, because of this last conversation that I tried to have with him. The me I used to be about 7 years ago, she would have been distraught from that. But because I've done so much self-work, and I love myself, and I know who I am, and I'm not anybody else's experience of me. I am who I am, and I know that I am. Okay? It just made my heart say, I'm gonna pray for him. That would have been a toxic situation. He just went on to say a lot of cruel things, and I wasn't coming from a cruel place. I was just coming from a place of, this is a safe space for us to have this conversation. Can we be transparent? So I shared all that with you guys, because now my question is, are you in a place of self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-fulfilled, to the point that you are free of validation from others, and that you understand that you are forever evolving, and that those who are meant to be in alignment with you, that those people who are meant to be in alignment with you will align with you. Are you in that space where you've learned to love every part of you? All of your imperfections, all of your quirks, all of your, ladies, all of your dents, dimples, stretch marks, fupas, with filters, without filters. Are you in a place of self-acceptance that you don't have to, I don't know, I'm just in a space where I don't want to deal with anything that comes in and deceive, because if you're deceptive with small things, you'll be deceptive with big things. That's just where I'm at. Today is just wild. Money's just falling out of the sky.